Hi everyone, this is a Math 082 video, 3.1, where we will be working 3 different examples using the product, quotient, and power rules. So as you can see here, we have a interesting collection of numbers and variables, and we're going to be probably using at least 2 of these 3 rules in order to simplify this expression. So what I highly recommend everyone do when they work through these problems is to recall order of operations. Most of my students, when they see this problem, start with the exponent. Okay, but order of operations doesn't start with exponents, it starts with parentheses. Excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So your life is going to be so much better and easier if you first resolve what's in the parentheses before applying the exponents. You don't have to do it this way, but I strongly urge you to. I've been teaching this class for a long time, and you're going to make fewer mistakes if you first resolve what's in the parentheses. So what I like to do in this step is just called rearrange the furniture. So as I look at this expression, I notice to myself that I have a 4 and a 5. Those are numbers that can be combined. And because this is multiplication is commutative. Order does not matter. 2 times 3 is actually exactly the same as 3 times 2. It doesn't matter what order I put those in. So the same thing is true over here, even though we have a mix of variables and numbers. The next thing I notice is that I have an x to the third and an x to the fourth, which again are like terms which can be combined using one of these exponent rules. Then I have y squared, and again, it's all raised to the third power. Another suggestion I have for you as you work through these problems is to always write out the whole problem. Many times students, to save themselves a few seconds of writing, only write down part of the problem, and that can tend to be quite problematic as, like most people, you forget at the end to copy down the rest of the problem, and then you lose points for kind of like no good reason. So let's keep going with this problem. So 4 times 5 is 20. X to the third times x to the fourth. Here we have to use the product rule. How do we know it's a product rule? Well, because x cubed times x to the fourth is a product. Product means multiplication in mathematics. Obviously, it means lots of different things in other contexts. Okay, so the product rule says that whenever I have the same base raised to 2 different exponents and they're being multiplied together, then all I need to do is add those exponents. So that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to use the product rule to rewrite that in simpler terms. Okay, and again, you want to bring down the whole problem. I know it takes a few extra seconds, but it will save you points. All right, so we have done everything we can inside the parentheses. That's our first step. So now that we've done everything that we can, now we can go through and do something with this exponent. Okay, so we've done the product rule as much as we can. There's no quotient, there's no division, so now what we have to do is use the power rule. Okay, so what's going to happen here? What's going to happen is that every single term in these parentheses is going to get cubed. So if x to the 7th, quantity cubed, and then we have y squared, quantity cubed. Sometimes when I'm teaching this in class, I make a joke about it's like babysitting kids. If you're giving them all treats, right, you can't leave out any of the kids, right? Every single term in these parentheses has to be cubed. Sometimes people forget to cube the number and only cube the variables, but every single thing in here, every term is getting cubed. All right, so remember in My Open Math, we can't leave the 20 cubed as it is. We have to actually evaluate that, and you're always welcome to use like a calculator on an exam, so you don't ever have to do that in your head or by hand. All right, let's look at the next term. The next term is x to to the 7th power, quantity raised to the 3rd power. So that is a good example of our power rule. So the power rule says if I have a power raised to a power, then I need to multiply those two exponents. And if that's a little bit fuzzy, go back and watch the video I already made on the power rule. Okay, so that becomes 7 times 3, that's 21. Okay, and then likewise, y to the 2 times 3 is y to the 6th power. And that's it, we're done. Our final answer is 8,000, x to the 21st power, y to the 6th power.